everyone to the first ever ACTE Work-Based Learning Youth Apprenticeship Policy Committee. Way to go. It's pretty exciting. I'm Jan Jardine. I am in Utah, and I'm going to be your fearless leader. So thanks for being here and supporting us in this. Kelly's going to be very supportive through this whole process as well as we kind of get things up and going. I'd like us to just take a minute and go around, just tell us your name and where you're from and what your role is on the policy committee, region representative, committee chair, etc. Okay, so I'm just going to go with how they are on my screen. So Jason, do you want to start?
Which Jason?
Jason Van Nuys, sorry.
Okay, you're fine. Yeah, my name is Jason Van Nuys. I am in Georgia. I'm the system level coordinator for Lowndes County Schools, which is just about as far south as you can get in Georgia before you are in Florida. Or just about 15, 20 miles from Florida line. And then I don't know that I'm clear on my role. I think I am the region chair. I think, yeah. Is that correct? Okay.
For Region 2, right, Jason?
Region 2, yes ma'am. Yes ma'am.
Great, thank you. Sue, Susan, do you want to go next?
Yes, I do. Hi, I'm Sue Gubing from New York State, and I am Work-Based Learning Educators Representative. Okay, I'm not sure what that means, but I'll find out today.
Perfect.
I was a work-based learning coordinator for many years at a high school in New York State, and now for the last 10 plus years, I've been teaching the 2 work-based learning certification courses for those educators who want to have that job in the high school. You actually have to get a special certification. So thank you for inviting me.
Very good, Sue. Sue will be doing one of our presentations and helping in one of our presentations next month. So hopefully you guys will be able to tune in there. Jim Mischling, why don't you go next?
Yeah, Jim Micklig from Wisconsin. I work at the Muskego Norway School District. I'm a college career and experiential learning coordinator. I oversee all experiential learning and partnership relationships for the district, and I'm a representative for Region 3.
Awesome, thanks, Jim. Okay, Jason Butcher.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jason Butcher. I am a recovering school superintendent, and currently now I retired a couple years ago from that, and I'm working for Reach Higher Montana out of Helena, Montana, and I am the Region 5 representative.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason, for joining us. Mihi.
Gotta hit the unmute. I'm getting used to all the platforms now. Hi, everyone. I'm Mihi Smith. I'm with the Office of Work-Based Learning and Apprenticeship in our state, Indiana. We're part of the Department of Workforce Development, and I will be representing, I know we had a title switch because government agencies and all that fun. So I'll be the state workforce representative.
Perfect. Thanks, Mihi. Laura.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura DiNardo. I am the capstone coordinator for Arlington Tech at the Arlington Career Center, which is in Arlington, Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. And capstone is a year-long work-based learning opportunity for seniors. And I'm going to be helping with professional development.
Good. Thanks, Laura. And Raquel.
Hi everyone, I'm Raquel Lais from Oregon, and I am the CTE Program Coordinator for Portland Public Schools here in Oregon, and I am the Advocacy Committee Chair. I will be learning more about that role, hopefully today. Very happy to be part of this team. Very excited.
Awesome. And Nancy, I'm not forgetting about you. Nancy is here represented ACTE. Do you want to do a short little brief? I know you're going to talk more later.
Yeah, thank you. I'll just say that it's great to be here, past president of ACTE, board member, of course, and I hail from just outside of Richmond, Virginia.
Awesome. Thanks, Nancy, for joining with us. Well, we are excited to kind of get the ball rolling and get moving with the work that we have for work-based learning to kind of get us started on the right foot. And Kelly is going to talk to us a little bit about the purpose of this committee and the ACTE strategic plan.
Thank you, Jan. Yes, you've heard my voice too many times, I'm sure, by Kelly Deemer, and I am retired 20 years as a work-based learning coordinator in a high school, and then another 11 at the Iowa Department of Education. And you know, I did the could we do something with work-based learning? And next thing I know, it turned into this giant more than one job kind of thing, and you all know that because your plates are full too. So I'm retired from that now, and just so enjoying to continue to work with you great people, because we all know how important work-based learning is. So having said all that, I've been now a year working with you with this section, the work-based learning section, and of course we're nestled under new and related services. We are looking to break out and become one of our own, to be to sit at the table with the big dogs. That's coming. ACT is so excited for the work that we've done and continue to do. And I got to say, you know, the foundation we're building with this Quality Policy Committee is really building a good foundation for what they want to duplicate for other divisions and sections. I mean, it is, we are on the right track, and it's because of engaged people like you. When we went and asked for leadership volunteers, and we had more than we had spaces to fill, you know that we're working with a great bunch of professionals. So I'm proud to be doing that. So let me talk just a little bit about the policy committee. And you know, it's within ACTE's full game plan that every single division must have a policy committee. The vice president that happens to have their seat in the chair at the board is not the sole decider of what goes on for the division. It does take, it takes a community to make a good division or a good section. So you as the policy committee are in fact the governance of Jan. You own Jan. Okay, so no, you helped us make good decisions for our division. I'm sorry, I'm going to call them the division. We're not quite a division, we're a pre-division. But you know, it's so important that we have a strong policy committee, that we you know, understand the role that we play. All decisions come through the policy committee. Even when committees do some work, it comes back to the policy committee. You all need to be in the know of what's going on and where we're going and what the future plans are. And, you know, you advise Jan on helping, you know, to make good decisions and lead us forward. So I cannot say strongly enough that you're not just a committee member. You are the governance of the work-based learning pre-division group. So I thank you for your commitment. Maybe you're all going to quit now that you know this, but you're extremely important for the future of work-based learning and for us when we become a division. The other thing that I want to mention is one of my things was when I was a board member and I was vice president of the business division. We actually had done that year the strategic plan for ACTE. And, you know, we spent a day and a half just figuring out the future and the vision and the direction ACT as a whole organization should be going for the good of the organization, for the good of the members, for the good of our business partners, all those kinds of things. It wasn't, you know, somebody wrote this on a piece of paper and we all voted yes, and, you know, we called it our strategic plan. Likewise, my feet are firmly planted in the idea that when we also think about our future as a division, we're also going to look back at ACT's overall mission and vision and strategic plan and themes, because we are ACTE, and we need to always keep that in mind, that we are a voice. I mean, they want to hear from us. But likewise, you know, decisions that are made on ACTE impact us, and we need to pay attention to those. So I've talked way too long, but I want to just assure you that you are so vitally important for the future of work-based learning and for our division and for the total professional development and support we give to all those work-based learning coordinators, that I am proud of this group, and you are in fact, you're in fact a good example for what we're hoping a lot of other divisions can do with their policy committees. So the last thing I'll say is when we have policy committee meetings and things, please respond to emails, please respond to doodles. We do everything we can to get these meetings when you can attend, but we need your cooperation in being engaged policy committee, because you are the governance of this organization. So the end. Everybody clap. She's done. She's done. Yay.
Thank you, Kelly. The next item on our agenda is for me to share my vision for what we're going to be doing moving forward. And Kelly, can you make it so I can share my screen?
Oh,
maybe?
Yes.
As I thought about this, I thought about,
control.
Yeah, I know. As I thought about what my vision was, make sure.
Deanna's connecting.
Oh, good. Okay, can you guys see this, my screen?
Yes.
Chair's vision? Okay, perfect. I thought about all of the amazing response that we got when Kelly sent out that request for people to come and be a part of this. And I thought, why? Why are so many people willing to step on board right now? And I know, because I'm in there too, that we aren't all just sitting around trying to find something to do. I would imagine that we're all very busy people with pretty heavy loads on our schedule already. So why step up into the leadership role now? And a quote came to me from Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek wrote, I read his book earlier this summer called Start With Why. It was a great book for me to kind of refocus. I think that's one of the things that COVID has done for us is helped us to refocus and start to ask questions like, why are we doing what we're doing, and what's our purpose in what we're doing? And I loved this. He says, we are drawn to organizations that are good at communicating what they believe. Their ability to make us feel like we belong, to make us feel special, safe, and not alone is a part of what gives them the ability to inspire us. And I felt like as Kelly really got things rolling with work-based learning, and we had the section Zoom calls and we started having professional development, I just felt like this was an organization that I wanted to be a part of, because it was providing some value for me, and I want to help provide that value for others as well. And I think as we come together and we help bring the work-based learning coordinators together from across ACTE, we'll be able to show them the value that we bring together as a group. And just one last quote from Simon. He says, working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. I think we've all been there in that boat. But working hard for something we love is called passion. And that's what I've seen as I've participated in panels, on Zoom calls, on strategic planning committees, is the people who are here serving with us have passion for what we're doing. So let's ignite that passion in the people that we work with as well. So hopefully that kind of puts us moving in the right direction. That's why we're here. That's what we want to do. Okay. So with that said, let's turn a little time over to Nancy to share a little message.
I'm very sorry. Can we say hi to Deanna real quick?
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Deanna, introduce yourself to us. We already did that.
You're muted.
Oh, you're on mute.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I apologize for being late. I'm Dana Patterson. I'm the work-based learning coordinator here at the Itawamba Career and Technical Center. We are in Northeast Mississippi, which is a wonderful part of the world to live in. I have a fantastic group of students this year, and I have been at the center here for 4 years, and I've been an educator for 20 years. So it's been a fantastic ride. I wouldn't do anything different. This is perfect. So I hope you guys are all having a great year and off to a good start. So
awesome. Thanks, Deanna.
Thank you.
All right, Nancy.
Okay.
You're up.
Great, thank you, Jan. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on which part of the country you're in. It's in the early afternoon here in the East, but you know, thanks to Kelly, you can't just have one meeting at 1 o'clock. You have to have 2 overlapping meetings, and I share that up front to say that when I am finished, I'm going to jump over to my other meeting. But in any case, thank you for inviting me today, and it truly is an honor to be a part of this first ever policy committee meeting. And Jan, thank you for your agreeing to be chair and sharing your leadership there, as well as to all of you for stepping up to be a part of this policy committee, because your leadership, well, your leadership is showing. So, and we appreciate that, not only at the CTE level, ACTE, but quite frankly, across the board, because yes, I think I already heard someone say it, what we do in work-based learning is truly critical to all of CTE, and those of us who are products of CTE know that that's probably why we are where we are today, because of the experiences we had through school, through college, getting actual work-based experiences. So we appreciate that. I'm also just going to take a minute to say that it is just really neat to be able to see this come to fruition, to watch really and to be part of a board discussion and or maybe Kelly's constant nagging, whichever way you want to. If you know Kelly, you get that. But, you know, truly to be a part of the discussions about the importance of work-based learning and how ACTE should proceed forward with that. So to have those conversations, then to see it transition really into the vision of what, as you probably, well, as you feel and as you heard Jan talk about, and certainly Kelly talk a little bit about as well, but to go from then the discussions to the vision and now to reality is just really ideal and exciting. And again, my hat is off to you as pioneers of this new and young section, and I can't wait for it to be a division, because again, when those discussions were at the board level, there were a few naysayers, if you can imagine, like they didn't know if it could work, they didn't know if it could happen, and they didn't know should we do it, you know, all that stuff. But you know, if you know Kelly, she wasn't giving up, and we appreciated that. I appreciated that because I believed in what she was sharing at the time. Not only is this event happening, or this section coming together, we also, over the past 2 years, and this will be the 3rd year, that we'll be conducting the Workforce Development Coalition, or the Workplace Development Summit during the conference. Well, it's actually, and quite frankly, it's the end of this week that summit will continue to meet with all the business and industry educators, business and industry and educators across the country. So it's really just a constant flow of the importance of work-based learning environment and where we are today. So with that, I'll stop and say you're all heading in the right direction. We appreciate your investment. I say thank you to the ACTE staff who helped bring this together, as well as Kelly's time and focus on the creation of the section, and I'm looking forward to when it becomes a division. So good luck with your work. It's important, you know that, but so much, we value so much your investment of time. Thank you, Jan.
Thanks, Nancy. Thank you, Nancy. We sure appreciate you taking some time away from your other meeting to be with us. All right, now the bulk of our meeting today is going to be brainstorming to make sure that we are creating the opportunities and the activities and the focus that is really best for the work-based learning section pre-division members. So with that in mind, I want you to think about what some organizations are that you're a part of, or that you have been a part of, that you feel like were really member focused. What did they do, or what did they do to bring value to their members that we could maybe emulate? So just throw out some ideas.
I'll start.
Thanks,
all right. I think the number one asset of any organization is constant communication with its members. You know, you just can't accept, let's take their money and then maybe we'll send them an email once every 6 months. That I'm a true believer that I want to hear from my organizations every month, at least once, of what's going on. And the communications can be emails, or it could be webinars or whatever, but just keeping that connection. So
I love that. Thank you.
I'd say just to piggyback off that too, with the communications, providing useful resources to help support the different work that's being done for all the various people that are involved.
Awesome.
Hey,
Other thoughts?
you guys are non-cricket people. Now let's have it. No crickets. No crickets.
I could add to that, and going back to communication, open-minded, like you don't know what you don't know. And when you hear something new, don't freak out or don't, automatically say, oh, that's not gonna work in my region. You never know. So open-minded.
Great. I love that.
So I'll jump in, and I would say encourage folks to ask questions and feel comfortable asking questions. And I know this is difficult during the COVID, of course, but getting to know people on a personal level, I think is huge too. Just in organizations I've been, I've certainly focused more on those that get to know me on a personal level than just a name.
Awesome. I love that.
I was just going to say off of Jason's too, again, having the support network for problem solving. So it may work in Wisconsin, but it might be different in Texas, Virginia, wherever it is. But how can we work together to help them implement similar things? And like Jason said, getting to know each other and having that relationship to support each other.
Very good. Definitely.
Also in this new age that we're living in, I have been so happy that we have such great accessibility to organizations. If you can't make a webinar that you want to see because of a conflict, it's going to be recorded and it's going to be up at a site. So I don't feel like I'm losing out of something and that I can access my connections.
Very good.
I would add just maybe an opportunity from like a feedback system for people in the field to generate, topics of inquiry, struggles, and that there could be a system where anyone out in the field that can offer the advice could do that in some type of consistent way or some type of platform.
I would add to that one thing that we all appreciate because we are busy all the time is, respect the time. So maybe start with the end in mind so that we can focus ourselves. And I mean, it doesn't mean that we can, chat like, how are you, blah, 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 create that personal relationship that Jason mentioned. But, keep in mind, what is the end? What is the goal? So that we can respect each other's time.
Very good. I love that. Any other thoughts or ideas? Go ahead, Kelly.
I've been as quiet as I can be. I keep reminding myself, but let me just say, my own thing that I valued is opportunity to be engaged, opportunity to be invited in for, my own best practice sharing, invited, feeling part of the group to try my leadership. I mean, that's how I, got involved with ACTs, because I had a community of people that said, you can do this, you can, and there were opportunities to do that. So giving our members lots of opportunities to go in whatever direction they want to go,
I'll add something in, as someone who's got a background in different areas of CTE and with business and graphic design and different other things. I've been a part of sections and divisions at the state level that aren't always very inclusive. So I guess this would go into relationships that Jason mentioned. But really trying to focus on fostering that kind of what I call that generous mentality of when I switched over from teaching business to graphic design. Everybody was so competitive. They didn't want to share their stuff. They didn't want to do anything because they wanted their program to be better than your program. And they didn't want to share their best practices. So maybe even including that where we're generous in sharing these best practices as part of that communication structure, where we send out like a monthly email with like any new laws that may pertain to child labor or workforce, or even a volunteer training that someone's done and a best practice. Here's what I do with youth apprenticeship. Here's what I do with, keeping in mind that there may be some differences between from state to state. And then even having the members submit, like they can reply that email or form that email with future topics that they want to see. So I just, when I started in Georgia with work-based learning, I was floored as I started presenting at conferences, how many people didn't want to share their stuff. And I was like, look, I'm trying to learn and I'm trying to help, but people don't, they want all my stuff, but they don't want to share stuff. And I think that if we can go a long way in doing that, it really is going to facilitate kind of what I try to incorporate in my environments is I want it to be a sticky environment where people come and they feel comfortable and they stick and they find their place, versus that rubber environment where they just kind of go and they don't feel included. No one welcomes them. They kind of feel like they're out on the outside, and then they don't ever come back. And I've been a part of those divisions at the state level, and it's not fun as a new person when you come in and you just want to meet people, and there's that clique, and there's that one person who kind of runs everything, and they don't let new people have it outside. Because if we're honest, a lot of people, especially in this group, are trying to progress or trying to kind of climb that ladder. So even opening up those ideas of when they give us feedback, hey, I'd like to, get more information on this, let them even do some of the training so they can build their resume to become, leaders. So kind of flip that on them. But I just want it to be a sticky environment where we come, feel comfortable, feel welcome. And it's a collaborative environment is what I would love to see.
Awesome. Couldn't agree more.
Hey, I 100% agree with everything, especially Jason, both Jasons, what you guys have just said. I recently taught in the Teacher Academy pathway, and it was absolute community. We shared everything that we had. We used our resources across the board. We, if we found something new, we put it out there, and it created an environment to where all of our educators wanted to progress. We wanted the best for every student, not just the students in our program. We wanted we wanted every child to succeed. And so that was the end goal. And like Raquel said, we wanted, if we start with an end goal in mind, and then we move on and we create that environment where everyone wants to help everyone else, our students are going to be successful. Our programs are going to be successful. And we're going to create an environment to where where it's just success. And that's what we want, So I think that's perfect. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Awesome. I love it. I think, go ahead, Jason.
Well, I was going to say, so I think one thing we're talking about here is a lot of networking, number one, and what we talk about that. And you all probably know this, but I was on a conference a month ago or so, but they did just a little exercise. They took 15 minutes and they called it speed dating. So you would just get into different rooms, and you've probably already done this, but for me, being on a conference with 100 people and not really knowing any of them, it was great because we did that every day, and so you got to know, and then pretty soon you'd see their face. Again, we're in the Zoom world here. Us old guys tried to learn everything we could learn at the bar or on the golf course, but unfortunately that's not the way to not available anymore for a while. But anyway, that just again. And you just had, 5 minutes to just talk, get to know each other, and then say, well, what would you do about this? And now I've got those folks out there that I'm not afraid to pick up the phone and say, hey, we talked, we met on this. I was going to run this by you, kind of thing. So anyway, just an idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Do we have this may, I don't know if this is going to be even something we can do, but something that's important to me is having everything we do be branded, if that makes sense, which makes us recognizable. So if it's branded with a logo or a slogan or something, then when we're at these big national conferences, it's easy to recognize who we are, where we're, I mean, maybe that's just the graphic designer in me, but that, I mean, it's important, especially if we're going to do quality work, we're going to put out things that we really feel valuable, that are valuable. Man, we need to have, I mean, it can be like a small, simple logo. It can be something that people can say, oh, that, like, I know where I'm going. And it allows us to, even if we do like these sessions, these video sessions or training sessions or emails, have it branded so that becomes synonymous with the quality stuff that we're putting out. Absolutely.
And a lot of our branding has come from ACTE and work-based learning. So if you missed last week's presentation from Lara, she presented on a college and career fair toolkit, and ACT was able to help us put that together. So it was in a cohesive way. So I think we have a lot of backing from ACTE to help us to have that brand there so people recognize what we're doing. But I love that. You're right. We want them to know that, oh, that's from work-based learning. So they think of us as we do that. Anything to add from that, Kelly?
No, I just know when this whole thing started and I didn't have people great like you, I was trying to come up with a logo myself, and man alive, you know, there's a reason I'm a business teacher and not a marketing teacher, because my creative bone is not, it's non-functioning. So yes, we're going to need to continue to move in with those good ideas in a good direction, because that makes sense. So I'm writing down everything everybody is saying. So go ahead.
Perfect.
And I agree with Jason. What he's saying makes totally sense. When we attend all these meetings and conference with ACTE, we hear from different states the different definitions of work-based learning, the different guidance, and the different practice that they have in place, right? So it's totally different state by state. Here in Oregon, we are kind of, starting, given, having the first steps, and it's been difficult for us putting together definitions with examples to try to, communicate with the CTE teacher, with the student and families, with the industry partners, kind of making sure that everybody understands what are the expectations, what are, the goals of each of the work-based learning experience categories. But then thinking on a branding, if we have a brand for work-based learning division, even when we talk across the state about work-based learning, we can move, I would say, it's gonna take time, but we can move all together to kind of, have a more comprehensive type of system and expectations. Because right now, every time that I go to the ACT website and I read over all the different states, wonderful work that they are doing, I'm like, oh my God, Oregon, what are we gonna do? It's not similar to any of those. It's like, oh, it's so stressful. So I think that has to be part of the direction that we are moving to. And starting with a branding, branding the division, branding the work that we're doing, it could be a good way to start.
Awesome.
So if I can piggyback on what Raquel said, in that we started to build more resources on the ACT website. And an example would be the state resources. I haven't certainly gone through 50 of them, because as fast as I get them up there, some of them get changed. But if you find yourself bored sometime, please go to the ACTE Work-Based Learning website, section website, and look under state resources and see if I've, captured some of, if your state is represented, if I've captured some of those state resources, because we've got some states that have done some phenomenal things, and we're all about stealing or sharing ideas. So
awesome. Wow, I think we have some amazing ideas. Anyone else want to share something that we missed? I think we're moving in the right direction for sure. I'm going to turn it to Kelly for a minute to talk about the policy committee member roles. So you guys understand a little bit more what your role is. And then we're going to come back to this list and think of some specific ideas related to our work-based learning section division related to your roles and what can we do, what kind of activities can we do to help bring about all of these different things that we just talked about. So
Okay.
Kelly, take it away.
Okay, thank you. I would just kind of like to ask the group to raise their hand if your answer to these questions are yes. How many of you have served on a policy committee before for ACTE? Oh, good. They have no expectations. How many of you have actively served on a committee for ACTE? Good. How many of your states have work-based learning, either an organization or, you know, a professional development cohort or something? Raise your hand. Okay. How many of those state organizations that you just raised your hand about are actually connected to ACTE? Okay. So that's good to know. We've got some professional organizations out there that are supporting our you know, work-based learning coordinator family. But, you know, when we think about all this and think, you know, why should we reach out and say, well, you as a Indianan should join, you know, should join ACT's work-based learning section. You know, we just always need to keep in mind that, you know, we always need to be member focused. It doesn't matter if we have 2 members or 2,000 members. You know, we just always need to keep that in mind because it's not about membership dues. It truly isn't about numbers. I mean, it is, but it isn't. We don't want them for the day, you know, members for the day or members for the year to make a goal. We want them members for life, and we want to build leaders, and we want to build, you know, quality work-based learning programs. So I've said so far nothing you didn't know, but I'm just saying always keep in mind that I am going to be the chirper that if it doesn't serve supporting our members, then the question is, why are we doing it? You know, branding's excellent, but we need to understand branding for what purpose for our members. And if it serves our members, great. And I truly believe that, you know, some branding is very much needed. I'm just saying whatever it is, it has to be for members. So, so let's talk a little bit about the policy committee member roles, just so you know, and correct me if I'm wrong, or if you have other ideas. What I see for region 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is, you know, you are this division's arms out more specifically to your region of the state, or excuse me, region of the United States. So, you know, you should be on your region 4 policy committee, region 2 policy committee, because you need to be the voice of work-based learning on there. Now, some are built in different ways, so it's not like Kelly Deemer, you know, queen of ACT, says, you know, that may fly and that may not. But, you know, if you're going to be our representative for your region, it would serve to be that you would also have a role on your region, you know, the region's, your region policy committee. So, you know, talk about that, see if that makes sense. You know, I'll be happy to talk to the region vice presidents on why I think that's important. But if we're going to build capacity and network, that all lands into the idea of communication. So, you know, if you're going to talk to this policy committee about what's going on in your region, it just makes sense that you're part of that region's policy committee so that you are hearing what's going on there. Having said that, again, it's not up to Kelly. You all have policy manuals that say how your region's going to run. So it is a communication thing. It is a discussion. The other thing is, you know, as being the regional person, we're looking to you to say, you know, what's going on in your region for work-based learning. Are some of your states You know, do you know of some best practices? Do you know of, you know, some states that have really got it going on? Is ACT showing, I mean, can we assist them? Does it make sense for us to join forces with a certain state's professional organization? Iowa has the Iowa Work-Based Learning Coordinators. I revived that from their deathbed and built them up. They are not all connected to ACT even now, but that is my goal, because we need to show reason for them to belong to us. And then, you know, I can certainly reach out and talk the talk. So to boil that down, you are not responsible for making sure everybody in your state or region is a member of Work-Based Learning. Your job is to communicate the value that we're bringing and cordially invite them to our family. So let's put it as a positive. Also, you know, you are the communication on the great work that we're doing back to your region. So, you know, whether you don't get to sit at the table of the region vice president's policy committee, you certainly are going to want to share back to that policy committee on the great things that we're doing in our division. So, you know, whatever role you get to play there. Oh, look, it's Jim E. Region 1. I was just talking about region.
Hi.
So I was just talking about the role that the region people play. And, you know, this is being taped, so you can listen to my, these poor people don't have to hear this all again. But, you know, as a regional representative, you're a vital connection to your part of the country. So it is not just about the once ever so often policy meetings we have. It is staying connected to those region vice presidents, letting them know who you are and the role that you're playing, and you know, sharing information. So any questions about region?
Kelly, where do we get that information?
Yeah, and Kelly, I don't know what region we'd be connected to.
You're none. I'm going to talk about you in just a minute there, Susan.
Oh, okay.
So
all right, good. Thank you. Solve that one.
So did someone else ask something?
Yeah, Kelly, where would we get that information? Like, where we know
the region vice president
who's in charge of? Yeah, I'm on the website. I just don't know where we would get that or how we would approach them.
Well, I can't think off the top of my head. I'm sure Jan's doing this right now because she multitasks fabulously. But yeah, the vice presidents are listed there. You know, you should have had I don't even know what region you are. 2, 4?
2, yes, ma'am.
2.
I think I'm
so,
2.
You know, some regions are more active than others. But, you know, just like, you know, you can help bring members to that region. You know, you can help bring members of the region to us. You know, and Jim, my soapbox, I'm sure you haven't heard this before, was if it's not connected to supporting members, then the question is, why are we doing it? So, okay, while you think that and while Jan's researching, I'm going to go on to some of the others. Some of the other ones is like the special focus groups. And now, Susan, I'm going to talk to you because, you know, while we are supporting our membership with professional development and communication and network and love and all these good things, it isn't just about telling a student they got to go find a job and then they can be in the work-based learning program. It's about supporting high quality work-based learning. So some of that comes along with the Susans of the world, educating how to be a quality work-based learning coordinator. And some states have certifications. Some states have, you know, I mean, just a wide variety of things. But if my state didn't have anything, I would want to go to this professional development webinar and hear Susan talk about what they do for their coordinators for professional development, for certification, and then maybe bring it back to my state and say, you know what, we could be doing a lot better with work-based learning if we had some requirements, if we had some PD, if we had some resources, if we did some of these things that Susan does for New York. So the panel next month, I believe December 12th or 14th.
14th.
Okay, we'll have 4 different states represented, talking about, you know, what they cover in their certification, why they cover it, you know, and how they support it. I just think that's a very, very important group, you know, that Susan hears, you know, what we're doing. So she can also communicate on these new work-based learning coordinators on why this is a good group and what value we bring, but also to, you know, spread the word on how to be a high quality work-based learning coordinator. So Susan's very important.
I like that.
Let's see.
Thank you.
The other ones, education. Oh, Mihi. Woohoo! Poor me, I give her whatever title I feel like it. Where are you? There you are. There you are. So initially, having come from the Iowa Department of Education, I was the work-based learning consultant for the state of Iowa. It's like, well, what are the other states doing? I mean, how are they doing this? And so I got to say, there's a lack of love on that level too, that, you know, we could help support. Now, originally, I gave me the identification of being with the Department of Education, and then she had to correct me that she really doesn't work for them. But in some states, it very much is not Department of Ed. Very much so, it is in fact workforce for the state. So it's less about pigeonholing it to be just the Department of Ed people or just the workforce people. It is the state government people that oversee work-based learning that need to have, you know, a connection also. So I don't know. I know that they're like in the Midwest, those guys talk. I mean, the Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa. There's a gang of them there that have calls ever so often. I know that Jason Van Nuss, coming from Georgia, his guy that retired now was so incredibly important to me to do better with Iowa's work-based learning state, because I had his support. So I just believe that Mihi is going to bring some great friendships along to support other states on what they're doing, and also spread the word on what we're doing to try to support nationwide all work-based learning coordinators. So Mihi, that's like a full-time job for you. So I hope you're not busy with anything else that's paid, because we need your help. But does that kind of make sense why that position would be on here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, checks in the mail, Mihi. Okay. Just joking. Okay. The other one that, and you think you're busy, we gave Laura DiNardo two titles. So she's, because she just didn't seem busy enough. So Laura's one category was the fact that we all know that work-based learning should not be a one-shot deal. It should not be that, you know, they're in school. Oh, internship. Hope this goes well. You have no idea what any kind of career is, but now you'd like to be a dentist. So let's put you in a dentist office and let us know how that, you know, how that happens for you. Well, Laura came to, you know, bubbled up when she did, you know, she built this toolkit and showed very great success in the career fair. You know, work-based learning is a continuum of experiences. We know that, you know, when we're talking work-based learning coordinators, we are hitting on the apprenticeship level, we are hitting on the internship level, but those kinds of things are much more successful when you had some experiences going along the way. So anything not internship, apprenticeship, that's Laura DiNardo. So she is the non-internship worker, even though she is, you know, she's looking out for all those other best practices that lead up to it, because that's what builds a strong continuum, and that's Laura's other job. So anything? Okay.
Nope, that sounds good.
So Laura's other job, since I'm on Laura, is actually, you know, our third category is actually our section committees. So, you know, the three sections that, you know, bubble up to make the most sense is advocacy, awards, and professional development. Well, since we've already twisted Laura's arm into doing one of those presentations for professional development, it only made sense to see how available she was to actually oversee that. Now, that doesn't mean that Laura's on all those calls. That doesn't mean that Laura plans all those webinars. Laura is the brains behind helping to collect ideas for good professional development, to help find those experts in the field that can do presentations. You know, Laura won't be doing this by herself. She'll have a committee, but you know, we just need somebody besides Kelly Deemer to come up with some of these great ideas. So so professional development is already jumped out there a bunch as being very important for us to support our members. And so that's why we need to have a committee and a committee chair to oversee that. The next one was advocacy, and Raquel begged, I guess, no, didn't beg. We invited Raquel to be head of the advocacy committee, and you know, it continues to be in discussions, no matter who you're with, on those barriers to work-based learning, on the laws, on child labor, on, you know, advanced manufacturing, opening their door. I mean, you know, all those kinds of things. So we're not asking Raquel to solve those. She thinks she is, but she doesn't have to solve them. But, you know, we need her to work closely with, you know, finding out what other states are doing, you know, on how they're getting around barriers. We need to connect with that piece of it with maybe National Policy Seminar or things that they're doing, because talking to our representatives, you know, senators and congressmen, about, you know, here's some problems, and we need to, you know, Texas has this figured out, or Georgia has this figured out. This is what they're doing, you know, and kind of getting kind of pulling that all together to make some good things happen. I'm talking too long. And then last one is awards, and awards is Deanna. Yay! So awards. Let me just say, the thing about awards is I don't believe you build membership through awards, but I think you show the love of membership by awards. So no one should join this organization because they want an award. They should join this organization and then be celebrated for the good work that they're doing. So I talked way too long. And so I'm going to stop talking now, but please email me or Jan or both of us with questions about, you know, your questions about any of that. So I'm done. Oh, you're muted. Okay.
Yep. Sorry. I was trying to do too many things at once. Jason, to answer your question about where to find section leader or region leadership, if you're on ACTE's website, acteonline.org, if you hover over about, structure is on the far right side. Board of directors will give you a list, and those region vice presidents are members of the board of directors. So that would probably be the best place to start.
All right, say that again. So hover over about and then what?
And then click on board of directors. It'll be on the far right list.
Raquel also shared it. Raquel also shared it in the chat. Thank you, Raquel.
Yeah, Raquel put the region list in the chat, so that'll show you what states are part of your region. That link that I just added to the chat will get you straight to the board of directors. So that'll have the contact information for your vice president, as well as anyone else on the board that you want to reach out to. So awesome. Any other questions about those roles? I know we're getting close to time, and I want to respect your time. But we do want, oh, go ahead, Jason.
Sorry, Jan. So just a quick question. So if I'm understanding this correctly, the region folks need to reach out to our region's vice president, and basically we're requesting to sit in on those, because I don't know that the region is going to rewrite their bylaws to add us as a committee member.
No.
So we're just asking if we can just sit in and be a listener and provide any feedback that they might have from this group. Okay.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Jason. I'm not asking you to try to go out and get those all rewritten by any means, because we're not quite that big yet. But what I am going to tell you is I will copy all of you. I am going to send an email to all the region vice presidents and make them aware that this policy committee is off and running. And one of the key points is communication. And we've got a policy committee representatives of the 5 regions, and how we can work together with those regional vice presidents. We look forward to not only sharing information from what's going on in the region, but also giving information to them about the work our division's doing.
Perfect. So then won't be a cold call for us. It'll just, we'll follow up after we get that email and they'll have an idea.
I'll say, Jason, who?
Yeah, well, actually, the vice president and I coached against each other 100 years ago, and he kicked my butt all the time. So this will be good. I can go and give him a little grief.
You don't look that old, Jason.
I'm old. I was around when the Dead Sea was just sick, so I'm pretty old.
Nice. Love it. So our next brainstorming was going to be sharing some specific ideas of what we could do, bring to the table, activities specific to those roles. I don't know how much time we have to do that, so maybe we'll send out an email and have you respond to the email, and we'll kind of do some work that way in brainstorming ideas. I'm going to mention just a little bit about strategic planning. We will continue work that we started in the spring on a strategic plan and getting ideas like that. A lot of those activities and ideas that we shared already in good organizations and activities specific to your roles will be will play into that. So as we continue work on that, we hope that you'll participate in that strategic planning process moving forward to year 21, which is right around the corner. We've almost made it through 2020, so good work everyone on that. So Kelly, maybe as your notes, what are some action items that we should take away from this meeting?
Let me just say from my notes, I am going to ask everyone again to go to the work-based learning section website and take a purposeful look at the state resources and make sure that we're on task for that. There's also a members only section that if you log in first, you can get to that, and then you can get to all the recordings for the professional development. On my action item, I'm going to email the regional vice presidents and tell them to be nice to the Work-Based Learning Policy Committee. So beyond that, I think sharing some dates that are coming up, Jan, would probably be good.
Perfect. I think we forgot to mention the awards section committee. Deanna, we don't want you to feel left out. Deanna's our awards section committee chair. You're on mute.
She mentioned me.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, she was. No, she did mention me, so she was.
Okay, good. Yeah. Awards is probably the one committee that has the most critical dates coming up. We have some sponsors that are working with our division, Transio and Seamless Work-Based Learning. And part of Seamless Work-Based Learning sponsorship is they are going to sponsor an award, the Seamless Work-Based Learning Professional of the Year Award. We would like to award that for the first time at the April Work-Based Learning Conference. And so we'd like the application for that to open in February. So Deanna, we'll be sharing with you some information about people who expressed interest in being part of the awards committee, but would love for you to try to reach out and organize maybe a Zoom call or something the week of December 14th to get started on what that application is going to look like. And our hope is you can have another one around the beginning of January, maybe January 4th or 5th, to finalize that application. And then we'd like to meet as a policy committee again on January 6th.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Now we have a section meeting on January 6th.
Yes.
Yes. So this would be right before our section meeting. We'll get some more details on. So.
Have any of you participated on those section Zoom calls that we've been doing since beginning of last year? Kind of talk about where we are as a section, what the plans are moving forward. It's not really a PD or a sharing kind of thing, but just a section business meeting is kind of what that is. And the next one is scheduled for the 6th of January, 2 p.m. Central Time. So we'd like to meet policy committee right before that meeting on the 6th. And so if you'll pencil that date in, we'll send out some more information about that as well.
Jan, can you tell them the great news of how many members we do have? Because
yes,
I keep talking about this, but we've been hovering over that actual number.
I forgot to mention that. I meant to mention that before. So as of our last report, October 2020, we're at 643 members. Yay! 750 is kind of the magic number to put us where we need to be to become a division. So we're really close. But again, like Kelly mentioned before, we want to make sure that what we're doing is not just to add numbers, but that we're providing resources and activities that provide value for our members. So people will want to join just because they see value in what we're providing. So,
Jan, I'll also prepare lists of everybody's region on who's members. I can't give you email addresses. That's against ACT's policy. Anybody that joins ACT says we won't share your email out, but I will give you lists and then what city and state, they're from in each of the regions. So you can kind of see which states are, where your members are. So I will put that on my list.
Very good.
And I'll do notes. So there you go.
Perfect. Anyone else have anything to share? I know we had a few that had to hop off with meetings that started at the top of the hour. Jim, you better just take a minute, Jim E, and share a little bit about you because everyone else did that at the beginning of the meeting.
Apologies. Yes, I had a conflict I couldn't elude. Kelly, were you going to interject?
Well, I just want you to, we all shared our deepest, darkest secrets. So,
yes.
And we are recording. So go ahead with that.
I'm a longtime CTE and science teacher and became one of the first CTE and STEM specialists in the country about 16 or 18 years ago. And now I'm an engineering and education professor and run a STEM education and workforce development lab at Virginia Tech here in the DC metro area. And then before becoming an educator, I worked on Capitol Hill for about 12 years.
Very good. Thank you.
We love you anyway.
And Jim, what region are you representing?
Region 1. I'm in Northern Virginia.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, let's call that a wrap for today. Kelly, did you have something else to mention?
No, I just wanted to tell you that we'll also get this recording uploaded and the link out. So those that had to get off early or those that got on late, can still hear everything.
When is the next section meeting?
January 6th is the next section Zoom meeting, and that will also be our next policy committee meeting just an hour before.
If you don't mind, before everybody splits, I want to plant a seed. We have a rather urgent need for examples of how people are dual enrolling internships, whether they're course code, community college course codes 195 or 295. 195 is probably the only one that can be dual enrolled for high school, but we keep running into this problem where people are telling us these internship course codes often aren't transferable and therefore screw up financial aid for students. So we're missing a big opportunity for dual enrolling high school interns. If anybody has some insight on how it may have been handled in their state or whether it's simply a nationwide problem.
Good. We'll add that to the minutes as Jim's
Thank you.
So.
Okay, thanks, Jim. All right, thank you all for being on. Look for some more communication coming forward about next steps And we'll look forward to meeting again on January 6th.
Bye all. I'm glad I could join you.
Okay.
Glad you could make it. See you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Jan, hang on for just a second. I'm going to stop recording.
Perfect.
Just a minute.